Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChcks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She is in the house and she's here to help us with our money mindset. Oh my goodness, we're going to be talking about how to bring those profits in daily. So get your pencils and pens and get ready because Coach Caren is always dropping great nuggets. Hey, you might even want to get a basket to pick them up in. So with that,
I like it. I like it.
we're going to get started because we don't want to miss anything the coach has to say. So get ready for Profits in Daily with Coach Caren. Coach, what you got for us today?
Well, on this month, we end last month with study of wealth, and I poke in, if you guys have paid attention, a little bit of the things we're gonna talk about this month. So this month we're gonna
Oh,
cover things about wealth, time wealth. We're gonna cover the physical and the whole shebang. But today we're starting off with time wealth. Usually we put that at the end. We like to deal with the finances or what have you. But I think people are starting to realize what I've been saying forever, how time is so important. So let's tackle that
okay.
initially. So we're going to talk about time wealth today. And time wealth really just equal the freedom. It really just equal the freedom. You know, guys,
Okay.
if you've ever been watching anything or watching a movie or going somewhere and saying, I wish I could have take this trip. That's time wealth. Or I got a big family. Maybe my immediate family is small, but I got an extended family that I really like to support and show them a different way of life. That's time wealth, that you can afford them to
Mm.
not only pay for the trip to take them, but also if a few said, listen, I want to go, but I couldn't get the time off because I won't be paid. And you say, hey, if you can get the time off, your salary is covered. That's the freedom. You got the freedom to do that and the freedom to have them have the time. Time wealth is one of the wealth that we know about, but we don't talk about it much. We say we want freedom, but it's really time wealth. It's a wealthy thing to have freedom to do the things you want to do. Let me
Mm-hmm.
say that again. It's really a great thing when you see that you can do what you want to do. That is time wealth.
Wow. I never thought of being able to pay someone else's salary so that they could have the time to engage with you. Wow.
I mean, they can't stop smiling from ear to ear if you can do that for somebody. Whether it was just a week or 3 days, it's this thing that could happen, because you
Yes.
might be in a position to do it. Or and when you take trips like that, you also know in conversation, and they're trying to find out how they can do this for themselves. They start seeing a different picture. You
I
start
do.
seeing yourself in a different light.
And planning ahead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, you can plan a whole year for a really good vacation. Let me tell you. Let's say we're taking a cruise, like we take cruises, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we plan later this year, we're gonna my friend usually like doing it. So she got she'll look around for cruises, see all what they have, and then she'll send us like a little mini proposal. Here's where the cruise is going, here's the cost, here's the total cost. She likes breaking it down. If you buy a ticket then and then you'll pay this versus that. Guys, this is the kind of spending money you might need. Here is a site you can go and look up and see if you've never traveled. I know the first time we did it, where you can see what is it you want to wear and stuff like that, the kind of stuff they'll have. She'll really go in and just send it out to the 9 or how many people. She know everybody's not going to say yes, but she
Yeah.
sent it to the group of friends. And we always have a good group. And when you get there and you start talking to people and see what kind of jobs they're doing or what they're doing, you start seeing that there's a life that you've been missing out on, that it's in your pocket realm and you didn't even know, because you just didn't know that you didn't know that you didn't know.
We don't know what we don't know.
Well, we don't know. Right? So time wealth is one of those important things that sometimes we don't even pay attention to and let it slip by. So my question
Wow.
is, what can we do when time is limitless in our minds? Because that's the first place it has to be. Time has to be limitless in your minds. And it just
Mm.
create this ocean and this place and time that is crazy good. We'll talk about it a little bit. And what type of peace and planetability does it allow you to do? Do you know a lot of people don't plan because they're so afraid that they wouldn't be able to make it, have it, do it. So that's why they don't plan. It's not because they don't.
Yes. Wow.
That's space and peace to have the planability. I can plan without money, but there's a lot of people who cannot plan without seeing the money first.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to see both sides of it and why they feel this way. And it's okay. And number three, how you feel or would feel if this was possible. I tell people all the time, one of the biggest gifts, my grandma's given me a lot of gifts, and it never looks like gifts. One of the biggest gifts she's given me is to let me feel my feeling, whether it was sad, angry, raw, it didn't matter what it was. She allowed me to feel those feelings without inhabiting, meaning she's not interjecting herself to give me solutions. She's not injecting herself to say to me, Karen, you should this or that. No, it's just to feel the feeling and then decide what I'm going to do with it. She also never offered what I should do with it. And it sounds strange because I know I had friends and I'd ask them and they're like, no. Like, that happened in my place. And so I realized it was a rare thing then, but I didn't understand how big it was. But as I get older and I turn into a teenager and, my 20s, and I meet people of, different aspects, and I realize this is why they can't make decisions like that. This is why they don't self-regulate, because they haven't had the opportunity to cultivate this from a younger age. It's not like it can be done when you're older, but if you start younger, it becomes this thing that you do anyway, even if you didn't give it a name, So one of the greatest gifts out of all the gifts she's given me. And guys, I'm writing a book called talking about coaching. And I was doing the last chapter yesterday. Was yesterday or Monday? And one of the chapters is talking about blessings. And in there, as I was writing, God was just inspiring me in those last 3 chapters. He was all along, but this was so much more like I had to stop as the downpour was happening. And I had to just stop and say, wait, what? And I'm typing it, but I'm still going in my head. Wait, what? And he said, this is strictly, through him. He says, our blessings is never in disguise. Our blessings are always right there in front of us. The work that he gave us, is our blessings. The reason we say it's in disguise is because it's at the end of the work that we see the blessing, but the blessing is in the works that he gave us. And so that's why when we're not doing the works, I would always say, do the work and your stuff. But I guess I say it so often that he had to bring it right in front of me. The works that you do is the blessing. So when you neglect the works that you're doing, when you neglect to sit down there and learn the lessons you need to learn to get the work done, you're neglecting. You're neglecting the blessing that he's given you, because you says, I want this, God. I want some money. I want some this. I want my business to be in abundance. And he says, okay, so that'll happen. Here's the work for it. And then you say, well, I don't want to do the work. I just want it. And so it becomes this disguise because it takes forever for you to get there because you're not doing the works. And so it's not uncommon that somebody can be a millionaire in a year. And we say a year to 3 years, we say 3 years to 5. But we say that because we understand people don't want to do the work. But it's not that it's not true. You might spend the first 90, 180 days not understanding or having the idea of what's going to give you the $1 million. But if you would have taken that whole 180 or even the 90 days, figuring out what you want, how you're going to serve somebody very well, how you're going to give them all that inside of you without holding back, and you take that idea and you literally put in the work, the money will come in. I mean, it will come in because you're in the blessing. You're working through the blessing. And I think I didn't explain it as well as once it was given to me, as I was writing and it was given. I was like, holy crap. This is it. This makes so much sense. And it makes sense, but it's such a barrier to the people who don't know that this is what's going to get them there. When you listen to people's story who are millionaires or billionaires are getting there, and the work they're doing, because every spot is the work. When you make your first $10 is the work. And when you make your first $100 is the work that get you there. And when you make your first 100,000, it's the work that make you there. People get really sad and say, well, I can't get there. And they never realize that they've been doing work anyway, just not in the wrong area. to the right place to achieve the right things that they want to achieve. And it's not hard. We just make it hard because we think it's hard.
I'm sorry. Of course, my lawn guy is out
I
here.
know. I realize.
Yeah, we make it hard. We do. We mentally, and I think a lot of times we mentally talk ourselves out of it.
Yes, for sure.
I don't have time to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have time to find somebody to do that.
Yes.
And before we know it, we've talked ourselves out of the gift of work that's been assigned to us.
Yeah. It's as simple as that. Whenever I happen to show somebody, I remember somebody asked me, Caren, I know this is a person, but can I see your schedule? And I sent it to her. She goes, how do you get time to do all that in a day? And in my head, I was like, that is not hard. So I said to her, it's a lot. It's not a lot. You just do it. And she says,
Yeah, and I think it's because we have a routine. And if we write down everything that's in our routine, it does appear to be a lot. But then we have those daily priorities tucked in there
right?
that
Right?
define success for the day.
Yeah.
If I make this one phone call, today has been successful
Yeah.
because it's significant. It's a significant call, and I'm prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And what you're going to get in that call, right? So don't worry about all the stuff you're seeing. I pack everything in there because I used to not, and I would just put the work stuff. But then when I'm off work, I still have the other stuff. When I know everything is in front of me, it's there. So I know, that this chunk of time is when I'm going to be in the kitchen doing dinner, or I'm going to be having family time. I want to see it there so that I'm aware of it. I'm aware of what can be done. And when it's there, that's the other thing people don't realize. When it's there, for me, I finish up way faster. And sometimes I'm like, I got an extra hour out. What did I do? I go back to my list. I'm like, it's all done. And there's this extra hour, and I can just relax, have a cup of tea, have a cookie or two or something, right?
That's
So
the
guys,
beautiful thing about lists.
right? Right. You're not wanting, if I get this done, if I could get this done, but it's done. It's done, right? So you get in there and you get it's done. And the feeling you get, I'm right at the bottom. I'm right back at the bottom there. The feeling that you get from time wealth compromises of a dimension of peace, planability, synchronization, and sovereignty. And I went and get a meaning of them just so that you guys hear me saying this. And I pronounce things a little differently, so I want to be just clear about it. Serenity gives you the ultimate, it makes you the ultimate overseer of decision making and maintenance of order. And some people don't understand that order is not only putting things back. When you're orderly, you're organizing your mind. It's hard for a person who's handling a lot of stuff, a CEO, a controller, to not be organized somehow, because if they're not organized, they couldn't run the company well. They couldn't oversee people. That's just part of what they have to do. And if you're building your company to be such, you got to get organized. You can't get them scramble out of bed and say, well, I'll make the bed up in the afternoon. I don't care what happened. Now, you can do that if you have somebody coming in to clean. But if you're starting out and you're everything, you're wearing every hat. I had a client of mine, I literally made it. I don't have it now, but I literally, made her about 7 hats. And it was written on a paper, and all she had to do was print it off and cut it out and make them like a crown. And I needed her to staple it together and put it on her head. So when she was admin, she put on the admin hat. When she was social media manager, she put on the hat. When she was the controller, she put on the hat. When she was the CEO, she just overseen all these things were getting done. And it really helped her to get her departments together. And because she was a person who was having a hard time concentrating. And we had to do this. We did a 90-day, and we ended up extending it further. But it was so helpful to her. For one thing, she'd never hired before. And I wanted her to see how she was going to hire out and the responsibility these people would have. And so when she paid them, she'd understand why she needed to pay such a substantial salary for the work they were going to take on, because she went through the gamut of all these different areas. The other thing I wanted her to see is that because she's going to pay now this type of salary to have quality people who will stay for longer periods of time, she also had to earn this substantial amount of money that she was qualified to earn anyhow, that she just wouldn't put in the time to do because she think again she didn't have the time. But you have the time when you have no money. You have the time when you're working a job and you're focusing on building out your business. You have the time. Every time somebody say I don't have the time, you have the time. Promise you. 90 days later, if you did nothing, you have nothing. But 90 days later, if you're coaching with me, you will have something. And promise you, you'll have 5 to 7 things at least done in your business that you wouldn't have done hadn't you take that hour or two a day to do one or two specific things to get you to the next level and the next level and the next level. A lady had said to me, she said, I find coaching is just about accountability. I mean, I can do that myself. And I said to her, do you do it yourself? And she says, no. I said, that's really what it is. Partially, accountability is a little portion of it. The structure and the building and the systems is something you can't just give it as everybody does it. It's a individually
It's customized.
organized for the individual because everybody operate differently and everybody business is different. Even if they're doing the same exact business, it's different, So it allows you for these things. And the synchronization is the operation of activities of two or more things at the same time. This is different from multitasking, though, guys. I want you guys to hear this. It is not multitasking. It's at the same time and the same rate. It means that you probably have set up your social media and you have it automated. So while that's happening, you're still able to teach a class like I'm doing here. You're able to do whatever you're doing that needs your attention. You're not being pulled away because that's happening simultaneously, but you're not handling it because it was set up beforehand. So you can't say, well, can't you say you don't like to multitask? This ain't multitasking. We're not going to multitask because it's a waste of energy and it split your concentration and focus when you multitask. This is why I don't like it. Down from my stool.
I agree with the whole issue of multitasking. It's okay for something else to be going on somewhere else, but when in the space that you're in, you need to be able to focus.
You need to focus. You need to get it done. You need to get it done. We've watched loads of movies that people look like they're multitasking, and something always fall under the cracks. It's under their computer. It's next to them. It falls to the ground. They weren't aware. A date has passed. They're doing way too much at one time. So I started off by saying, what can we do when time is limitless in our minds? And guys, we got to get there. We have to understand. And this is the other pet peeve for me. When people say, I wish we had more than 24 hours a day. I say, you'll be in the same mess you're in right now. You'll just find more messes. 24 hours is what God gave us. How we use it is how we use it. But He has given us night and day. You better rest your behind in the night because it helps you health-wise, which is something we'll talk about in the next segment next week. It helps you. When you're resting, your body is resting and it's doing the job that it's supposed to do while in rest.
Yes, we talk about this on Happy Healthy Habits. And I talked about this last week, what's going on in your body when you are sleeping, that it's rebuilding cells, it's regenerating itself. There are a number of things going on during the course of rest, and it's important to get a certain amount of rest.
Yeah. Yes. So you need to get that rest. So the day now that you have, whether you're using an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, whatever that time is for you. And think about it, guys, 24 hours, right? You sleep for 8 hours and you got 16 hours left. If you use 12 of those hours to start your business, because I believe when you're starting off, you're probably going to need about 12 hours. No joke, because you're learning and you're doing. You're going to need about 12 hours. And then you bring it down 10 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. I believe you don't need to keep it at 12, but I believe you do have to start there if you're now starting out and you got so much to learn. The problem is most business owners, most people who start anything want to get it all at once. No, Whatever you're learning, you give yourself 30 days and another 30 days and another 30 days. Make sure you actually learn it. I tell people when you read a book, I'm with Kobe on this one. He talks about it. You read a book or watch a movie. Just watch the movie. And then you come back and watch the movie with a pen and pad and watch the movie. All movies got something for you. What if you go if your being feel that you want to watch a movie, it got something for you. That's why you're feeling that way. And it could be just one thing. Take the one thing and stop looking for everything. Take the one thing. Okay? That's it. That's what you got from the movie. And then you might watch it again and find something else. And something else. But at that moment, just take the one thing. That's it. Try to get anything more.
It's sort of like reading the Bible. You read that scripture,
Yeah.
you come back and you read it again. There's something else in there, and yeah, peeling back the layers.
Yeah. Just take that one thing and it's going to move you forward. I tell you what, when the Spirit tell me move, I move. I'll clear away my day when the Spirit make me move because it's moving me to somewhere else, to something else. Sometimes it's just a walk. And I can't believe the revelations I'll get from that walk because I need it was to clear the day to get that walk in. And you need to worry about what you need to get done. So I'm getting it done. This is why when you have a schedule and you're following it and you take a day off because the Spirit lead you to, you're not missing anything because everything else has been lined up anyway. So you can come and catch back up. You're not going to fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
If you see I need a day, Terry, to clean my office, I remember a time I was on this press to just rearrange my office and I couldn't tell you why. And I say, but I like how it is. It's fine. Like, what am I going to do that for? Just clean it on the weekend. But it's this feeling of just Caren moved the desk around and I did. And some people might say superstitious. I don't care what you want to say. I'm telling you. I cleaned the office. And at 1:30, somebody called me and asked if they can come in for a consultation, physical coaching. I wasn't online yet.
Mm-hmm.
She
Well,
booked on this. She booked on the spot.
wow. Morning, Mark. Mark says the
Morning, Mark.
universe is constantly nudging you
Mm-hmm.
to move you in the most effective direction in multiple ways.
It is moving you. It is moving you. And I sat there and we ended up talking. And I was telling her what was going on. She goes, and I've been looking and searching. And she never said anything online. I never had anybody online, but she saw me talking. I don't know where. I can't remember where she saw a video of me talking about something. I made a video those days. I wasn't doing anything live. And she said, and we did talk via messenger. But she never commented on anything I had online. She never liked anything I had online. she just never did any of those stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, you're what I need. I needed somebody to get me on track. She was off on leave of stress leave, and she was seeing a psychiatrist and what have you. She was doing all the right things, but she's like, I just needed this order to get me. She started a business and wasn't going anywhere. And that's what we worked on. Because she had the other things looked after. The other medical stuff and all that stuff was getting looked after. She needed that. I said, when the Spirit moved me, I clear my calendar and I move because it's moving me where I need to be. And I move. So when you understand that you're limitless in your mind, when you sit and understand all the things that you could do, you don't have to do them all, but the things that is happening and coming up in you is because you've given yourself the permission, because it's the allowing. A lot of us do not allow ourselves that allow ourselves to understand that we have the time we need. And so because we have the time that we need right here, right now, we're supposed to use it well.
Mm-hmm.
Stop feeling rush about. You're going to rush anyway. Stop feeling rush about. You just find a way. That's why a lot of people do yoga. A lot of people do Pilates. Is to help calm them. But if you're into none of that, just take a breath. Just sit there and watch your breath. Go in and out. Do some deep breathing. Pay attention to one thing. Keep your eyes focused on that. When I used to be a dancer, to spin, you have to keep your eye on the dot or just a specific item. And just focus on that one thing. And enough spins will calm you down in my dancing world. You'll come back, you'll do the split, you'll jump the highest you can because you're just focused now. And every time my teacher say, do a plie and you're like, I'm stiff, I can't do it. You notice once you're focused, you're doing it wonderfully like she wants you to. You're just elevating. You're just moving through like a feather. And it feels like this is the craziest thing because all she wanted us to do was take a breath, get centered, be in our space, and then perform, the routine that we were doing at the time. And we win a lot because she was that kind of a teacher. I swear, we had a dance teacher before her that didn't have our qualities at all.
Uh,
All she did was the troop was fine, but she never took us anywhere in terms of we never won anything when she was our dance teacher. We show up, we danced, but I tell you, the other lady just had us just being able to feel and understand. And you need time to do it. You do need some time. So you need to set aside the time. So if you're working 12 hours, if you're doing 12 hours in your business and you
mhm.
got 8 hours to sleep, you still got another 4 hours to hang with family and do what have you. Now, if you have a job and your job is 8 hours or 9 hours, because we're still saying 12 hours, you still got three for your business on the side. You still got a breath in between or 2 hours for your business so that we're still conquering those 12 hours. Because remember, guys, you're starting out, you're beginning. You're in the process of learning to get you to the next space. Don't worry about the people who make 4, 5, 6 quadrillion figures. Those are not your
Mm.
peeps. You want to look after the people who's making, 3 figures, if that's where you're going. 2 figures, I don't care what number it is. Those are the people, okay? And then you're doing the work that those people will do. And then you grow into the other set of works. You can't do the work that 6-figure people do it if you haven't done those other works. You got no background, you got no foundation, you're scattered. And then you find that you have no time. You truly have
Mhm.
no time because you're too scattered in your time. It
I
is.
think I I think this also, and tell me if I'm correct. Most people who are making that kind of money, like CEOs and things at that level, have people helping them.
Of course.
And most of the people that we have in our audience are solopreneurs, but they want to go to that level. Do they need help now, or once they reach a different level? And Mark
They
has a comment when you finish. Go
okay.
ahead.
Let's see my comment.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
He says, as as an experiment, set a reminder for every 2 hours. Stop what you're doing at that moment. Take 5 deep cleansing breaths and notice, what am I thinking?
What's in
Mm,
the mind certainly reveal itself out physically over time.
start
you know.
reflecting. Yeah.
If
Oh my.
you're a solopreneur, one of the things you have to know is, do I want to be a one woman or man business? If that's your goal, then you're
Mhm.
going to be wearing all the hats forever and ever until you let go of the business or sell it. But I got to warn you, if you're going to sell the business, you one person, your chance, if you're going to get this money, you'll get this, because most people want more than that. Not everybody, but most people. But if you're a person who want to grow your business with employees or contractors, no matter what it is, but with help, then you have to look at your business differently. This is why when I went to business school, one of the things they always talk about, do you want to own your business and eventually sell your business, or, different things. You need to know when you start your business what you want to do. Even if you don't know the first week, 2 weeks, a year, but you need to start figuring out what you want to do within a certain timeline so you gear the business towards that, right?
Mhm.
So if you're a solopreneur right now, your job is to build systems in place. You need to understand who you are as a person before anything else. And then you need to build a system that suits who you are and let that work for you. But then you need to widen that prospect and understand who you serve and what type of business, what kind of system need to be expanded upon. Because especially when you're going to bring people in, everybody's got different personality. Your business is your business and you decide what it's going to do. And you have to build system that can expand as such, and so that it can do and keep the quality while it's expanding. So if you're a solopreneur right now, don't worry
Mhm.
about it. But understand where you want to be, where you want to go. And once you know that, then you can go in and do the work so that when you hire that first person, maybe an assistant, let them come in. And not only when I hire people, this is what I found work for me. I like people who will follow what I do. I don't care about your experience. Your qualification is important to me in the Pacific thing, but I don't care about your experience as much, because lots of time it's just the experience in that person company. you're going to come and learn what my company needs. So I don't worry about that a lot. But I want you to come with some kind of sense and sensibility. I want you to have contribution for my company. I want you to come in and tell me things. I actually want people, even if they don't own their own business, I like people who have the idea of at some point wanting their own business or love behaving like a entrepreneur, a person who want that stuff. Their thinking is totally different. And so you can have a conversation with them. That's who I prefer. People don't, a lot of business owners don't like that because they think they're going to leave. People are going to leave you. Let me just make it clear. When you hire people, just as they come on, they're going to leave you. Just get used to that. But treat them good while they're there and look after them and let them look after you. And don't be the person that only want to talk and give and don't want to receive. Listen to their opinion. They might have a better way of doing something because they might have more time on their hands to learn something to bring to the table. People appreciate you when you come in, when you hire them and they say, hey, I see you're doing something in black and white. If you put a little bit of yellow at the edge, it might highlight it. Ask them why. Have the conversation. Let them be a good contributor to you. And then also another thing, give them a piece of the pie. Give them a piece of the pie. When my cleaning company was tiny, I give out, a $50 bonus. As it grows, $200 bonus, $300 bonus. And I give tips when it's very, very hard work that they went out and do. And I don't wait for the bonus time. I give out money at birthdays. I make special baskets and give them. I go and find things that look really cute and pretty and make it up something they can't go and buy anywhere. I remember giving out some baskets to a couple of girls, ladies, and that woman keep talking about the bowls. Where did I get them from? Oh my God, she loved them so. Little tiny bowls with, I made stuff. I'm a baker, so I make stuff, put it inside, and just ecstatic about it. Because I care, I hear her talking, I listen in to public conversation, and I use that information to gift to them the thing that was needed at the time.
Wow.
Those are good things to do when you want to hire. And you grow. People got to come in and help you if you want to grow your company, but you have to allow them. You have to allow them to come in.
Well, Mark says, I'm here most days waiting for my bonus.
Oh, Mark.
Well, Coach, I think we had a very lively conversation about time wealth. I think it's something that we overlook and that because we don't recognize it, we don't value it.
Important. Important. Time is money. What are you doing it? What are you doing with your time? Time is freedom. Time is freedom. With the money that you made, time is freedom. You get to do the things you want to do. You don't have to sweat it. You don't have to be on vacation calling 10 people to find out if they make sure that whatever goes through. Because you're there and you're present in where you are. I do not walk in my laptop on vacation. I don't care what nobody tell me. They ain't coming with me.
Well, Coach, it's my understanding that you have a course.
I do. Yes.
I that this the link for it. I'll put it over here in the chat so that people can see that. If you want to tell us a little bit about the course.
Vision board of possibilities of all the possible things I guide you through on step by step what to do, how to envision it, how to set it up, how to work through it. So that's what you learn. It's just $40. You can do it in a week or you can take a month doing it if you need more long processes, but it just helps you work through, see where your vision is going, where you want it to be, and plan it out, guys. You talk about planability, get that space and plan it out. I promise you, I and my mastermind buddies were talking about it. I'm living now in the space of the thing I had so wanted. Every time you get to live into where you wanted and you living in the space of it, you're like, crap, it just happened. It happened, right? You're watching yourself watch it happen. When you're in it, maybe you didn't see it happening, but it happens. It happens, I've got friends who have lived and just watched them live into what it is they were working towards. But the key word was they were working towards it and they work into it. And so they're getting to live and enjoy what they have worked for. They're still working, but they're still enjoying life too, right? That's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to be working, but I want you to enjoy. This is not all about punishment and just doing and grinding. This is having enjoyment along the way. At least, that's how I see it.
Well, there you go. Now, if you're looking to set an appointment with Coach Caren, I put up her Calendly, get on her calendar, and have a customized consult with Coach Karen
Yeah,
about your business because every business is different.
it
So,
is.
with that, we want you to know this is how you do it. I put the link in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact Coach Karen in person. Remember, she's here because she wants you to bring profits in daily.
Really, yeah, guys, do that. Eh? It's a
Now,
good thing.
here, we want to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run, and we're here to take the hassle out of your hustle. So, if you're looking to contact us, you can either go to bizchicks.net and sign up and become a part of our community. Also, there'll be a link inside to show you how to contact us, or you can text biz to 33777. We'd love to help you with what it is you do and how you do it and who you serve. So, with that, we want to remind you it's okay to make money in your business. So good.
Yes.
It really is. So go to the front of your own line. Tomorrow we'll be talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shamizu and friends. And Friday we will be talking tech with the Biz Chicks. So with that, we want to thank you for your time. And for those of you watching live on the replay and in the clubhouse, we want to say, hey, thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye, everyone.